Hey everyone, Hybrid here with a quick reminder that this Wednesday, August 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the next episode of Talking Toys with the Boys. We're going to have a special guest this week being Michael Havens of ICCC Nashville, which is a really awesome Comic-Con, and we're doing a guest reveal live on the stream. I'm incredibly amped for it. I think you'll have a great time, so be there or be square.
This is where the fun begins.
Hello there. How's it going?
Greetings everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today I bring you a look at the Star Wars The Black Series Super Battle Droid. Now, we technically got a sneak peek at this figure earlier this year in the 2-pack with the 3PO-headed Battle Droid. Thank you to 212 Hunter for lending me his set to do a review on that. However, if you're like me and you didn't care for all that random orange splatter all over it, this release might be for you. This is the more cleaner standard look. I'm super excited to get into it. You may notice this big sticker on the front with a price tag, and if you look real close, you'll see that is from Buy, Sell, Trade, Ashtabula. Now, I tell you, if your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa has ever told you about their 17-mile hike through 24 feet of snow to get to school, it's worth doing that hike if that's what it takes to go to Buy, Sell, Trade, Ashtabula. They're one of my most favorite stores in the entire world to shop at, and if it's less than 72 days of driving for you, then you better drive there, because it's absolutely worth kicking around. So with that said, let's get into this beginning of the review. Here's the Super Battle Droid in the packaging. As always, we start by taking a look at the packaging. This is actually the tapered edge Galaxy packaging, which has started to go away at this point. I think it's this and Sidious. That's all that's really left to talk about. So, farewell, a legendary phase of the Black Series. Let's take one of our final looks. You have your Black Series logo above a big window showing the Super Battle Droid and his accessory off nicely. You have Star Wars Attack of the Clones in bright red. Super Battle Droid also in bright red. Warning, 4+ Hasbro. This side of the box features some artwork that's in the panoramic like motif where they line up with others and they make a larger photo. Has a little bit of Geonosis going on behind it. Looks really cool. Super Battle Droid down at the bottom. Over here, you have your wraparound red stripe, your wraparound window, and your Black Series logo at the bottom. Around back, you have a zoom in of that art from the side, the Black Series logo again, and then a bio in several languages. Pause and read whichever best applies to you. He's number 6 in the Attack of the Clones lineup. A bunch of legal stuff, Disney, Hasbro, barcode, more legal stuff down below. Up top is a hanger tab and a window. It's a little bit of light in the box if you're one of those in-box collecting losers. I like to open my toys, so without further ado, let's get into the review. So here's both of my Super Battle Droids out of the packaging. As always, we're going to start by taking a look at the accessories. So, he comes with one accessory. The 2-pack release didn't come with any, but that's okay. This one is actually a really neat blast effect, and the community has been asking for these in the line for some time, so it is really cool to finally see one. This is in a really nice red translucent color. It has a nice big blast at the end, and then the ray coming down. If you look here, it's kind of a 2-circle, kind of like oval peg slot style, which works very well with the dual wrist cannons on the Super Battle Droid. Something worth noting, when you orient that, you see how there is a large taper down and then it's kind of flat there. The flat side you want going downwards. When you peg it on like so, there we go. It keeps the blast going straight forward. If you were to put it with the flash going down, it would actually kind of point it upwards a little bit because it hits the wrist. So that is really cool. Something else going on here that's really cool is the blast can be removed from the flare, which just gives you a different way to look at it. It's a little bit more of a muzzle flash without the blast coming out yet. I don't know that that was necessarily intentional. I mean, obviously it was intentional. They sculpted it. But whether they were like, hey, they can have options, or if that was just easier for them to make it that way. But it is really cool to be getting the effect all the same. Getting him back into a neutral pose, this guy looks absolutely insane. I mean, and whenever I picture a Super Battle Droid, my mind kind of goes to the Clone Wars ones, just because I kind of grew up on that. But I mean, whenever I think of a live-action Super Battle Droid, this is checking all of my boxes. It's in a really nice gunmetal gray, or kind of like a slate gray color, with gunmetal on all of the joints, up in the shoulders, the elbows, and the hips, and the abdomen. Just every little rib in there, and then you got the big gear crotch thing going on. So many little silver punch-ins, and gunmetal punch-ins, and just dark grays, and For a design that's really just a big, bulky, gray battle droid, he does have a lot of cool stuff going on. You can see there's little pistons up there on the biceps, and those didn't get hit with silver. I think sometimes on these droids they like to hit those kind of things with silver, but this time it didn't happen. Is what it is. Looking around the back, just this guy is so cool. And something that's really worth noting on this droid is even though he's very bulky up top, and from the front, the legs are skinny, from the sides, the legs are not skinny, and he has these ginormous feet. So even though you would think it would be like a normal battle droid, where it would be like hard to get him to stand like 1 foot on the ground, look at that. Yeah, this guy's stable. So these guys, initially you would think with the design, oh, that's going to be like a nightmare on the shelf. Absolutely not a nightmare on the shelf. Another thing that I like that they captured was the little red dot on their left shoulder. It's just a really nice punch-in. I do like the kind of bluing on the top of the head, above the line that kind of has like the eyes kind of hinted at in there. God, these are so cool. And, I mean, honestly, in universe, they would absolutely be a scary force. I mean, beyond just being large and bulky, I mean, that's just a sinister design looking down on you. So, all in all, I'm just really liking what we're getting here. A feature that has not been shown on the packaging of this one, on the 2-pack one, but people found out pretty early, is there are some removable panels here. The players of Republic Commando are probably going to be huge fans of this one, and I'm sure you've probably seen this at this point, but I'm still going to show you. The head pops off like so, showing a red painted, I'm guessing that's like an eye or a brain or whatever, but a bunch of little gunmetal sculpted punch-ins in there. And then the chest plate can come off, because as you're shooting them in Republic Commando, they start losing armor plating. And that is just so cool. And beyond just being a Republic Commando thing, I'm picturing this guy like in a dio laying on a table, some Anzellans around him or something. Like, there's a lot of cool options that all this going on could give you. A lot of really cool painted wires and circuitry and little lights in there, and there's just a lot of neat stuff going on. For something that did not need to be there, there's just an awful lot of sculpt that got dedicated to it. And if it wasn't there, I wouldn't miss it. And I don't think any of these are going to get displayed opened up like that or anything. But it is just oh so cool to know that it's there. It's like all the vehicles, how they all had the removable panels here and there, so you like see engines and pistons and stuff. I mean, it only adds, it doesn't subtract, but it's also not the selling point. So this guy's just super cool. They didn't skimp on any of the paint, like in the joints there. You see it's painted silver through and through, and the dark paint up in the inside of the joints, and just absolutely no corners cut on this guy. I will say I was hoping when this came out that it would have because they're ball jointed shoulders, that it might have a swappable arm where you could have the normal arm and then the ginormous rocket tube arm, which was like my favorite variant from the Clone Wars. That was a favorite 375 of mine as a kid. It might be coming as a separate release. The Amazon 3-pack from Jedi Survivor features the big rocket arm, so the mold now exists. So that might be something to look forward to in the coming days. It might be in Clone Wars packaging, or it might just be the next Attack of the Clones thing. Well, definitely wouldn't be Attack of the Clones. It'll be in Clone Wars packaging, if anything. But I'm super amped on that. You really got to watch those wrist rockets for these guys. To run through some articulation, his shoulders are on these big ball joints. You can see me kind of play with them. And, you get a ton of pivot on them, and they don't T-pose, of course. That's just by design. And they can come in that far. 360 easy at the shoulder, and no butterfly joint or anything. But that ball is actually on a pin, on a ball in there, so you can get some good shoulder movement. No bicep swivel. That's all right. Single jointed elbows. This one's a little snug. You can go to 90 and then swivel at the top of the joint and the bottom of the joint, which is really nice for when you would want to pose him blasting. He has the ability to rotate his wrists, and then there's a hinge in and out on both sides. There's a mid-torso ball joint allowing you to crunch him that far forward, really back. Got a bunch of side-to-side, some twist. His legs can only go that far out, which is better than you would think. They're able to go straight up, straight back. There is an upper thigh swivel in there. That's pretty cool, although it's kind of, I don't think it's necessary, because the knees can go past 90 and then swivel at the top of the knee. And then the feet can go that far down, that far forward, and there's a forward-facing pin for rocker, allowing you to get some insane angles on the feet there. So yeah, I mean, like, there's a couple of things that are a little clunky, you know, but then there's things that you would expect because just of the nature of this design of Battle Droid, he's not going to be the most insane guy. Like, you're not buying him for his amazing head articulation. At least I would hope not. To do some comparisons, I'm going to bring in... We've really been getting spoiled on the Separatists lately. Here is the Droidica, which ended up being a deluxe, and even though the Super is taller, you know, just the massive size of the Droidica is what happened there. Here they are next to a tan B1 Battle Droid, which, like so many of these, just do not stand. I'm just going to maybe have the Droidica help them here a little bit. Come on, quit going forward. Go back. I'm leaning you way back there. Gives you an idea. Here is a AliExpress, but it scales the same 91st Elite Core clone. Here is a Death Watch Mando, since they fight in The Mandalorian. And then for some power fisting action, here is Clone Wars Mace Windu. As you see, the Super Battle Droid, taller than everyone. I feel that's accurate. They're supposed to be huge and imposing. And all in all, it seems to scale nicely. Let's get into the wrap-up. So at the end of the day, what do I have to say about the single release pack of the B2 Super Battle Droid from Attack of the Clones? I love it. An instant pickup. There was absolutely no discussion to be had. Honestly, I wish that Buy Sell Trade had more than two. I would have bought more than two. I've put in an order from Nerdzoic. I think I'm going to have a total of 6 to begin with, but honestly, 8 is probably in the cards eventually. And I'm just so happy with how this turned out. It is such an amazing figure. It was one of those instant, you know, no misses from Hasbro. You know, sometimes there are figures like this where people have been asking for them for years and years and years. And I know that the Super Battle Droid has been on everyone's wanted list for probably the better part of 5, 6, 7 years. And I'm glad that we have finally gotten it. And if there's anyone out there that is upset that it took them so long, I think it is worth noting that had we gotten it 5, 6, 7 years ago, it would not be the amazing figure on the table in front of me today. It is such a well-done piece. I absolutely love it, and I think that you will be happy adding it to your collection, and it was one of those absolutely worth the wait pieces. Also, come on, the blast effect, that's dope. So, that's what I got to say for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out this Wednesday, Talking Toys with the Boys. As mentioned, Michael Havens will be on, and we will be doing an ICCC guest announcement. I am incredibly amped on that. So, with that said, I'll see you guys then. And until then, may the Force be with each and every one of you. And goodbye.